Back live here at the Paradise Theater, Bronx, New York. Nick Charles with a special guest tonight. I got to tell you something. I'm extremely proud of myself that I was able to chase down Ozzie Smith. Maybe in another life, I figured, but I don't know how this ever happened. You looked like you could play a doubleheader.
Well, I could play maybe a couple innings.
I know you can, Ozzie. I know. We worked broadcast together many years for a time with CNN, and now here we see you ringside at the fights. What brings you by?
Well, actually, I'm a friend of Yuri's, and you know, I haven't had a chance to see him fight live and stuff. So I'm doing a card show on Saturday, and they said, why don't you come in Thursday and to the fight? So here I am.
Quite honestly, are you a fight fan? Have you been a fight fan all your life?
I've always been a fight fan. Enjoyed the sweet science, and never took it up myself.
Smart.
It's a tough way to make a living.
Listen, I think you picked the right game.
Yeah, the game. You know, I played baseball for 19 years, and I did the right thing.
Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith looking ahead right now, just the big sweepstakes, Johan Santana. Any insight you could give us there?
Well, you know, whatever team he decides to go to, he's going to enhance that team because he's one of the best pitchers out there, and he's left-handed too, and he's going to make a lot of money.
Game changed much since you left it?
Well, it's changed from the standpoint, well, the money certainly has changed, but I think guys still love the game. We've gone through some tough times here with
like the
steroid issue and everything. And so, but I think we're on the right track to getting that all cleared up. And once that's all cleared up, the focus will be back on the field where it should be.
Any predictions? You look at Pretty Boy Floyd, Ricky Hatton looking ahead, guys like that?
Well, I'm a Mayweather fan. You know, it's going to be a good fight. I think he's going to face a guy that probably has more heart than anybody's ever faced before. Should be a good fight, but I think Mayweather will come out victorious.
And, you know, back to the moment here, Yuri Foreman, I know you know obviously his manager, but he's in very tough against the guy. And you know what it's like when the Cubs played the Cardinals in a glory day, stuff like that. It's nothing like the Bronx against Brooklyn, and that's what we got tonight.
It's going to be fun to watch, and you know, I hadn't been to a fight in quite a while, and I enjoy sitting in front of my television and watching the fights. But it's exciting being right here.
Different story, isn't it? What do you see the difference? You know, you see things on TV that maybe don't have, or you see.
You see the quickness. You hear the punches and stuff, and it's totally different feeling watching it in person as opposed to watching it at home.
Yeah, I've done how many hundreds of fights, and your heart's always in your stomach because unlike baseball, hey, it's 10-1 going to the ninth inning. The stands, everybody leaves. Here, a guy could lose 9 rounds and knock the guy out in the 10th.
That's right. There's always some excitement, you know. So, you know, just watching here tonight, you turn your eye for a minute, a second, and boom, a guy can get hit. You know, so it's an exciting time, and I'm glad to be able to watch it firsthand.
It's always a pleasure to be with Ozzie Smith, Hall of Famer, former Cardinal shortstop, legend. Great seeing you get on with the rest of your life in such remarkable fashion.
Well, thank you very much. Always great listening to you too.
Thank you, Ozzie. We'll be back with our main event. Wally Matthews joins us ringside. Ozzie Smith, our special guest. Thanks for being with us. It's Yuri Foreman, Andrey Tsurkan. Get ready to rumble on this one. It's the Bronx against Brooklyn and more at stake. Stay with us. Welcome back. Fight night on Versus. What a scene this is. Statue of Liberty, New York Harbor. The boroughs come together here big time for our main event. It's the Bronx against Brooklyn, Ukraine, Belarus, the whole 9 yards. They might as well go bare knuckle here. This is the Palace, the Paradise Theater in New York. Just a remarkable place. Scene of some legendary things on stage. Right now it belongs to boxing as we get ready for our main event. Nick Charles with Wally Matthews. Fun time here, Wally, and it's going to get even more heated here. This near sellout crowd wanting to see Bronx against Brooklyn. Foreman, an undefeated guy. Tsurkan, a guy, pure heat. Huh?
Absolutely. And by the way, Foreman, I believe, sold 600 tickets here, so there's going to be a lot of people that want to see him. I'm not so sure that Yuri Foreman's going to be thrilled to see Andrey Tsurkan, who you are right, is a straight-ahead guy. But Yuri Foreman, a really gifted boxer, a quick guy, a guy who's very hard to hit. I mean, not quite the defensive wizard that Ozzie Smith was, but pretty close. You know, I'm sure he could turn the double play to a really, really good athlete in the ring. Sometimes not always a killer in there, and he said that, you know, that if there's one thing that's held him back a little bit, it's a lack of killer instinct. Says doesn't like to hurt guys in there, only has 8 knockouts.
Well, again, you know, with contrast to styles, you talked about Foreman, of course, being a boxer, and then we talk about the sheer will of Tsurkan. Not necessarily a big hitter, but a guy who almost looked out on his feet against Hector Camacho Jr., and that was an extraordinary win, his biggest.
And this is clearly, you know, a great example of what you said, Nick. He's not a tremendous one-punch knockout puncher, but he's clearly a volume puncher, and you'll see how he just overwhelms Camacho. Camacho, the one wearing the hula skirt there, and you'll see that he just overwhelms Camacho in the corner now just by volume of punches. This is the kind of stuff he's going to try to do with Yuri Foreman, who's a similar fighter to Camacho in terms of style. You'll see that he's more defensive minded than offensive minded. This is the kind of pressure he's going to put up with tonight, and I'll tell you what, even if Yuri Foreman beats Tsurkan, it's not going to be a comfortable fight for him at all. I guarantee that.
Now, it's really clear Tsurkan will take 5 to land 3, take 2 to land 1. And again, he was at one stage in this fight a little bit earlier, we're not seeing it, he almost looked like he had been stopped cold on his feet and was ready to just topple. And here he comes back with this tremendous surge. And referee Randy Newman calls it off, and Camacho Jr. can't believe it.
Yeah, much to the consternation of Camacho Jr., but you're talking about a guy with an indomitable will to win. That's Andrey Tsurkan. It's really a classic matchup. It's what you want. You want one guy to be a boxer, one guy to be a straight-ahead puncher, and that's what we got here tonight.
Right, so it's Andrey Tsurkan, Yuri Foreman, the Bronx against Brooklyn, as we take a look at Fight Night on Versus. We'll be back to tell you more. Our main event is coming up. Tsurkan, Foreman, and more right after this. Stay with us. And back at the Bronx, the Paradise Theater in Bronx, New York. Nick Charles, Wally Matthews, highly charged. Main event is next.
And here's our head-to-head. You see that Yuri Foreman a little bit younger and a bit taller there, 3 inches on the height. Slight reach advantage, and we'll take a look at the rules now, and there's a slight variation in the rules. 3 knockdown rule is in effect because it's an NABF title fight. No standing 8 count. Doctor or referee can stop the fight, and neither fighter can be saved by the bell in any round.
Tsurkan would never want to be saved by the bell, I could tell you that. Yuri Foreman coming off his biggest win, although a split decision that some people thought he had lost. He beat Anthony Thompson, though, to remain unbeaten at 23-0, and here we see him now. Brooklyn is in the house, 3-time Israeli national champion. He was born in Belarus, former Soviet Union, moved to Israel, learned to box there, and then came to New York, 2001 New York Golden Gloves champion. He's a 5-year pro, a top 20 junior middleweight. A lot of crowd support. Living in Brooklyn, fighting in the Bronx tonight.
Got the little racing stripe there cut into his head. I guess he's coming here built for speed.
Well put.
As always.
This is an NABF Super Welterweight Championship bout, and that means Tsurkan, which is defending his belt, and that's why he's walking last. Andrey Tsurkan, living in the Bronx. And you could hear the crowd. This joint is jumping, and you could feel it, actually. This old building shake.
Hope it doesn't shake too much. Now, this is a sturdy old place. Beautiful place.
Just ornate, built in 1929. Rejuvenated now. They do concerts here, and they do fights. Paradise Theater in the Bronx, New York. Andrey Tsurkan's never taken a reverse step in a ring, from what I know. We did a fight with him 4.5 years ago. His last loss against Kuna Togenbayev, who was a top 10 fighter. It was a war, and Togenbayev after that was never the same. Tsurkan lost it. He has not lost since. Here he comes. Straight ahead pressure, as we talked about.
He is a tough guy, man. We talked to him yesterday, and he says, you know, it's a whole different mindset where I come from. It's not like you American guys. I had the kind of feeling that he was calling you and me sissies.
Yeah, he called us out, and we hid in the closet.
We basically said, you're right. Anything you say, sir.
Andrey Tsurkan, he's 25-2, 16 KOs, 26-2. And a guy who could fight all night. He is tireless, a fabulous work ethic. But again, interesting thing, he has not fought enough. He's got to get busy. This is a huge fight for him. Let's meet them both. Joe Antonucci has the formal introductions now. Antonucci.
Boxing fans, Top Rank, Joe DeGuardia Star Boxing and DeBella Entertainment present live on Fight Night on Versus Network, our main event of the evening. Our main event, 10 rounds of action for the NABF Super Welterweight Championship. Judges for our main event, George DeGabriel, John McKay, and Matt Ruggiero. And our referee for our main event, Danny Schiavone. Introducing first in the blue corner, he comes to us tonight from Brooklyn, New York. He weighed in at 153.5 pounds, wears black trunks with gold trim, professional record, a perfect 123 victories, no defeats, 8 knockouts. Please welcome Yuri Foreman. And his opponent in the red corner. He comes to us tonight from the Bronx in New York City. He weighed in at 152.25 pounds. Blue trunks, white trim. Professional record, 25 victories, only 2 defeats, 16 knockouts. Please welcome Andrey Tsurkan. Referee Danny Schiavone has our instructions.
Let's go, bring it in, let's go. Andrey, let's go. Bring it in. Fellas, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Expect you to obey my commands at all times, keep the bout clean. Touch them up, back to corners, good luck.
Oh, boy, this is exciting. What a stare down, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Looks like the old Drago days, right?
Yep. You know what? One thing, here's my prediction for this fight.
Yeah.
We will use the online scoring because we're going to get some rounds out of these two guys.
Well, Tsurkan said, I will break you. He sounded like Drago from the old hockey movies. That's what he intends to do. No reverse gear. Look at him coming forward. Foreman definitely the slick boxer. He wants to control range and pace. And he hits Tsurkan on the way in with that right, pops him with a left. So Tsurkan can't walk into shots, but as we've said before, he will take some to land.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because we talked to Tsurkan about that. You know, said Foreman's only got 8 knockouts. What do you think? He goes, you know what? We're not taking him as a light puncher. We consider him to be a guy with low knockouts because he doesn't try for them. But we know that if we run into a shot, we can get hurt.
That's a good point. And Foreman already showing that he's got every punch. Showed the jab, flashed that nice right hand and a solid left hook. And there's that lead hook again. So Foreman continues to circle left. He started to the right. Maybe trying to bait Tsurkan, catch him leaning again. Tsurkan's got to stay balanced. He can't overcommit. He has a tendency to do that. And winging combinations is Foreman as Tsurkan walks right into punches. Foreman looking extremely busy and sharp, Wally.
Well, this is his fight, though. He skitters around the ring. And 2 things I think we should point out early in this fight. Foreman's got a brace on his right knee. And his fight is so speed-oriented that we got to watch his legs. That was a low left hook, by the way, by Foreman. That's number 1. Number 2, it's very chilly in this room. And neither one of these guys really came in with much of a sweat broken.
We'll watch that. And we watch Foreman, I think, picking his shots for a first round. There's good pace to this fight, but he's really been selective and accurate.
Yeah, but you know what? Tsurkan really hasn't gotten himself going yet. All right, he's just kind of settling in here, and he looks a little bit cold. That's why I pointed that out. He looks a little dry.
But if Foreman, there's a good right hand. We'll see who's got the faster hands. I know that the volume punches that Tsurkan will throw 5, 6, 7 shot combinations. But Foreman showing good hand speed and good movement, controlling the ring here.
Well, this is the kind of fight that Foreman loves to fight. I mean, right now, one thing Tsurkan said is, I'm not going to make it comfortable in there. Well, so far, Foreman has had a pretty comfortable first round.
Right, and it's an 18-foot ring, Wally, that is not big. Nice right hand from Tsurkan, but he can't follow up. Tsurkan's in the blue, and in the black with Star of David is Yuri Foreman. Tsurkan pounds away with the lead right, tries to go to the body with it and followed up short with a left hook. He's wild with a hook there. Again, Foreman looking excellent, I think, in terms of, again, controlling range of this fight. Punching when he wants, not being under siege, but it is early. Nice exchange before the bell. Crowd on its feet here. Go to Yuri Foreman's corner now.
Listen, nice job. Good job, son. Listen, got a little complacent. You got a little complacent in there and towards the end. Your game is the way you started it out. Right in the middle of the ring, okay?
You hear the instructions being given by Joe Greer there in Foreman's corner. He said you got a little complacent, and he did. He got nailed a couple of times very well in the last 30 seconds. Let's take a look at it. We'll see the end of the first round, a round that Foreman was winning handily, and then you'll see it starts off with this left hook. And then this is what you're talking about, the pressure by Andrey Tsurkan. He just comes forward, lets those hands go. He is not shy about letting those hands go.
Tsurkan did all his work in that final minute. Kafka box numbers, 9 of his 10 lands in that final minute of round 1. Hot pace to this fight. These are 154-pounders. No clinching, lots of action. Andrey Tsurkan on the left hasn't lost in nearly 5 years, coming after Yuri Foreman, who's never lost as a professional. Foreman now letting his hands go. The punches flowing now. Good combinations. Working off the jab well. At least making Tsurkan restart, rethink his way in.
Good shot.
Tsurkan just banging his way in.
You know, I got to take issue with you. I think from what I saw in the first round, I think it bodes well for Tsurkan because he's not even warmed up yet, and he's already landed some good shots.
We'll see, Wally. It's Foreman obviously knows that Tsurkan's going to be coming at him.
Whoa, that's a surprise.
Yeah.
The light puncher, supposedly Foreman, put Tsurkan back on his heels with that right hand.
Yeah, and he caught him on the tail end. Second and third shots worked. So he's got a volume punch too. He was very selective in the first round. He doesn't like to waste a lot of shots, Foreman on the left. But he is controlling off the jab here, trying to make, he said he's got to let Tsurkan feel his strength and
he did.
Power.
He already has, and that's a surprise.
And that's a key. Tsurkan just walking forward.
You can hear Tsurkan say, come on. Did you hear that? He is not, you know, he's not easily discouraged, this guy.
Yeah, he's trying to let that left hook fly. But he's not, he's trying to just stick the jab, then walking in. But it's Foreman running him around in a circle. But constantly having to focus. And, you know, Foreman admitted, Wally, yesterday, this is going to be a lot of physical work against a guy who bell to bell is coming at you, but also this mental focus. You can't afford a lapse.
Yes, he said that, a mental and physical challenge, and it certainly is, because the kind of pressure you see right now from Andrey Tsurkan is only going to intensify as the fight goes on.
Yeah, the crowd's loving it here. We hope you're enjoying it and scoring at home. Our audience fight night on Versus from New York City. Combination from Tsurkan, and Foreman acts like he didn't even feel it. Foreman's got to keep his hands up. Oh, and there, Tsurkan by punching on the exchange,
you know,
punching last.
You're not kidding. You know, Tsurkan looks crude, but he's occasionally capable of something very skillful. And that counter left hook that he ended that combination with was beautiful.
Well, the key to this fight so far to me is the guys who are punching in between. There's a lot of action, but when one guy stops, if the other could connect, and that's when Tsurkan's had his success.
Well, the key to the fight will be, can Foreman keep up this level of intensity?
He will be asked to do it because Andrey Tsurkan's in the house.
All right, the best punch of the round came from Yuri Foreman, but you see Tsurkan had his moments too. He had a nice left hook, right hand combination in round 2.
Man, these rounds are buzzing by, Wally. Really into it from the opening bell. Andrey Tsurkan on the right. Biggest fight of his career. Yuri Foreman coming off a controversial win.
Beautiful head snapper of a jab by Foreman, with Tsurkan right back with that left hook.
That hook, and here Tsurkan trying to bang with that right. Not a heavy puncher, but a relentless guy.
Now here's the thing, you know, Yuri Foreman was doing a great job of using the ring before and keeping his distance. He seems to be slowing down already.
Good observation. Now he's on the move again there. Fading.
See, there's a big difference between moving where you want to go and moving where you have to go. Okay? First 2 rounds, Yuri Foreman was able to go where he wanted to go. After a while, we'll see if Andrey Tsurkan makes him go where he has to go.
Yeah, well, that really is Tsurkan's, not dilemma, but that's his challenge, because I think Foreman's doing a decent job controlling, and here we see the online scoring.
That's perfect. Absolutely right. 1 round apiece. That's exactly right.
As close as they come, and Tsurkan trying to chase Foreman down, but Foreman using the ring.
Oh, that banged hits. Wow.
Yeah. Foreman crashed into Tsurkan.
That was the hardest shot of the fight.
Yeah, it's not going to bother Andrey. And here comes Tsurkan. Now they go to trade inside.
See, that's what he's trying to lure Foreman into, and Foreman's checking to see if he's bleeding after that butt.
Oh, and a hammering combination from Tsurkan.
Foreman wiped out his own eye to see if he was cut, and that's when he got nailed.
Another good exchange, and Tsurkan seemed to get the better of it. So this is a good round for Andrey Tsurkan.
Well, this is the fight he wants. He wants Foreman to stand and fight, and now he's landed his shots.
Yeah, those right hands are getting in. He tries the left hook to the body, but it's mostly head hunting from Tsurkan. Now he tries to go low, and now he's being wrestled in by Foreman.
Stay off him. Let's go.
I don't know the point of that.
I think the point was that he lost his balance. I think his weight was coming forward, and he just said, you know what, let's keep going till the ropes stop us.
Yeah, Tsurkan had a boatload of momentum going there. See if he can start again as he charges forward. Man in blue.
Got some blood now from the right eye of Yuri Foreman.
Well, that could have been from the butt. That was
I think it was on the other eye. I could be wrong. I have been.
It seemed like it could have been the left. Red hot 3rd round here in the Bronx. Tsurkan Foreman will be back with more right after this. Stay there.
All right, let's take a look at the headbutt here now in round 3. You see the 2 heads came together, and Foreman got hit on his left eye, but he's actually cut on the right eye, so I have the feeling that that was from a punch.
Let's see if it makes Foreman tentative, because he can be tentative. Tsurkan just trying to take the fight out of him, just trying to control things, just grab it by the throat, Wally.
Well, this is what he does, you know. He does break you down. He breaks your will just by the constant pressure. And I'll tell you what, the ringside physician spent a lot of time in Yuri Foreman's corner between rounds 3 and 4, taking a close look at that eye.
Tsurkan coming out with the jab a little bit. Now Foreman sort of ran into that left hook. Let's see if Tsurkan could stay on that jab.
But look at what is concerning Foreman the most right now. It's his eye. He keeps pawing at that eye, and he's getting nailed. This is Andrey Tsurkan's fight in style, and right now, you know, the way it's going, it's Andrey Tsurkan's fight. This is the kind of fight he had to get Yuri Foreman in to win. The blood is coming down again. It's going to be a tough night for Yuri to pull this one out.
Yeah, he's trying to keep his distance here. There's no question.
Wiping at the eye again.
Tsurkan's been short with his shots. Nice counter shot from Foreman. Not a lot on it, but he landed with that right.
It doesn't matter, because right now Tsurkan is imposing his will on the fight.
Yeah, he's got to get off those ropes, keep the fight center of the ring, keep moving. And that's what Foreman's trying to do now. Now he'll clinch, tie up Tsurkan.
Right now, Yuri Foreman is thinking of like 6 things besides winning this fight. He's worried about his eye. He's worried about getting out of Tsurkan's punching range. And this is what Tsurkan does to you. The relentless pressure, after a while, it takes you right out of your game plan.
Yeah, I call that loss against Tsurkan. That was a hellacious war, Wally. And Tsurkan, who was arguably, top 20 fighter, was really never the same after that, it seems. So Tsurkan could take it out of you.
Now, he's a tough night at the office for you. Even if you beat him, you've been in a fight.
He has not taken a step backward.
And look at the way, Foreman has to skitter around nonstop, back and forth, just to keep himself from getting hit. You wonder, can he keep that up for 10 rounds?
Wally, that's the wonderful thing about, they always talk about, clash of styles. I love contrasting styles when they work like this.
Absolutely.
Step back.
Foreman's got to get Tsurkan's respect a little bit. Make him think twice, perhaps. Tall order, I know.
Right now, he's thinking self-preservation. He's not thinking of getting respect.
Yeah, Tsurkan looking to unload that right. He's got it cocked, but he's not working off the jab. Little arm shots from him. Very close round.
Huge round. No, I thought it was a huge round for Tsurkan.
Watch your heads.
Red hot pace, as we've said here, through 4. Yuri Foreman unbeaten and in a little bit of jeopardy here as Andrey Tsurkan is making him feel the heat bell to bell.
Yeah, Nick, I thought that was a huge round for Tsurkan. It's not even, a case of how many punches were landed or was anybody knocked down or hurt. It's the fact that he is imposing his fight on the other guy. He is constantly coming forward, as we knew he would anyway, but Foreman really not able to take advantage of it, not able to counter, not able to sucker Tsurkan into anything, just taking punches.
Well, it's a good point. I know in the scoring, the 4 criteria they use, and ring generalship, the big innocuous thing, but it really is forcing an opponent out of his fight plan.
Effective aggression. That's the way I go. And you see
effective punching, yeah.
You better believe it. And you see that online once again. You know what? I love when they agree with me because I know that they're right on the money.
I know.
I just think, and if you were in the arena, I must tell you folks, you'd feel it even stronger than you get it over the TV.
And crowd really into it.
Right now, besides, you get the feeling of who's dominating the action right now, and it's Andrey Tsurkan.
Yeah, Foreman having a hard time keeping Tsurkan off him. And look at Tsurkan, lots of power shots here.
Almost twice as many. But then again, just about everything he throws is a power shot because he doesn't jab a heck of a lot.
No.
Let's go, let's go.
Try to box his way out of danger and win rounds. But again, to give you a point, I understand clean, effective aggression, but ring generalship as a component of taking a guy out of his fight plan, and that, as you said, is what Tsurkan's done. So score points in that regard for him as well.
While we're talking about Tsurkan and his aggression, Yuri Foreman just did, what he needs to do. He landed 3 whistle-clean jabs.
Yeah, the jab again as Tsurkan
there's another
walk into shots.
It's a much better round for Yuri Foreman.
There's the occasional jab from Tsurkan, nothing on it though. Wow, what a pace.
See there, Foreman made a miss.
Good exchange, Tsurkan. Good combination, but
no punch.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more body punching from either guy. Mostly head hunting here. Tsurkan wants a slugfest, and now he's getting it down the stretch here as we hit the halfway mark of our main event. Back here in the Bronx, great advice from the corner of Andrey Tsurkan. Unload, unleash that left hook, and partly go after that injured right eye of Foreman. So they want Tsurkan to really bite down now.
They were very, very unhappy with Andrey Tsurkan in the corner there, and I got to say I agree with them because I thought he had a tremendous round 4, and then he gave round 5 right back to Yuri Foreman.
Just got outworked.
And you know what? Let's give some credit to Yuri Foreman, too. He really pulled it together and boxed a really good 5th round.
Oh, I give him a lot of credit. He knows how to fight. Oh, and look at walking into the shots as Tsurkan, hands down, just bullying his way in. And sharpshooting is Yuri Foreman on the right, doing a good job of it.
See, whenever Foreman can avoid getting into those wild swinging exchanges, he's much more successful at controlling the action.
It's the way he started out when you said Tsurkan was cold. He was very accurate, but very selective.
And he was able to keep his distance. You see the way he's able to keep his distance now? Now in rounds 2, 3, and 4, I should say, Tsurkan closed that gap and made it very difficult for Foreman. Foreman's been able to recapture some of that distance.
Yeah, well, he just picked up the pace there.
He also picked up his elbow into Tsurkan's face.
But again, it's pace and range. If Foreman can control both, he wins the fight. If you can't, Tsurkan's got a hell of a shot.
But don't forget, we're only halfway home, and this is a very, very difficult pace for Yuri Foreman to keep up. We've seen Tsurkan do it a million times.
Stop. Whoa. Stay off the back of the neck. Let's go.
Tsurkan not with the most artful footwork. I mean, he'll bull rush his way in, not always behind the jab.
It's a very wide stance. He sets his feet very wide, which is pretty unusual. That's the way he fights.
Here he comes trying to walk Yuri Foreman down, but Foreman with escape routes in this 18-foot ring here in the Bronx.
And you know what? Foreman has been very, very skillful in avoiding and not letting himself fall into those exchanges where he allows Tsurkan to get the better of him, because when it's a brawl, there's no doubt who's going to win the fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to outbox Tsurkan. Tsurkan's got to outwork him. Now Foreman strictly running. Countering in between.
Good left hook. And that was by Tsurkan. And you're right, you know, there's a fine line between using the ring and boxing and running. And for a moment there, you're right, Yuri Foreman was running.
And now Tsurkan trying to track him down. As we close out the 6th round of our main event here, 154-pound battle. Hey, baseball's in the house all around. Eddie Murray, another Hall of Famer. Ozzie Smith, we talked to him earlier, and I just talked to the doctor. He said so far so good on that eye. He could see the doctor's finger, and he could see the pupil. The doctor could see the pupil, so it's a good sign, but a dangerous one as well.
Now, you know, let's go to Eddie Murray for a second. When he played for the Mets, I covered him here, and he hated to talk to reporters about baseball because he thought we didn't know anything about it. And he was right, but he loved to talk boxing. And I'll tell you something. Back in the 90s, early 90s, he picked Evander Holyfield to knock out Mike Tyson. So let's give him his props.
Especially if he had money on it.
Nice jab by Foreman. See, this is what he needs to do. And this is not running now. This is boxing, because he's using the ring to create distance for himself and to keep Tsurkan off balance. This is what he needs to do for the final 4 rounds of this fight.
Yeah, he's really not going to discourage these rushes, but he's got to make him restart, you know, because Tsurkan's not deterred. I don't think there's an issue with Foreman's power. Boy, it's close line, isn't it?
I love this because it makes me feel like I guess I'm watching it the same way they are at home. I got it dead even after 6, 3 rounds apiece, and I gave Foreman the last 2 rounds after it seemed Tsurkan was ready to take over.
Well, Tsurkan trying to run his man down here, coming down hands low. Forget about the jab from him, and Foreman trying to bait, keep that distance and maybe counter. Now they bang bodies together. Speaking of bodies, no body shots, man.
No, really.
Good hook on the tail end from Tsurkan. As he keeps punching, good things happen.
You know, here's something that surprises me somewhat. I think Andrey Tsurkan might be a little winded.
Wow, that would be something.
Wow, and he also backed up there. I don't know if he got hit cleanly with that left because his back was between me and the punch.
Well, you know,
he backed up.
We've seen him against the bangers anyway, look almost dead on his feet, and then all of a sudden he'd just gather up a head of steam and go second wind. Looked like he could fight 20 rounds.
Oh, I don't doubt he's got plenty left in the tank. I'm just surprised that Foreman has been able to do something he said he would do yesterday, and I kind of doubted him. He said he would back him up, and he did.
Well, you know, Foreman got to outbox him, no doubt. And Tsurkan again, he's not a single shot power. Forget about it. He's not a big hitter. It's got to be an accumulation, rapid fire. And
doesn't matter though. Not that many guys are one-punch knockout punchers. I mean, you know what? This is a guy that wears you down just because of the fact you can't get rid of him. But I got to tell you one thing. Foreman's an incredibly talented guy fighting a very smart fight right now.
Well, he's a boxer, and that's what he's got to do. Outbox the guy again.
I mean, he's athletically gifted, and he's elusive, and he's using all of that right now.
Closing out the 7th of our main event here in New York. Back with more in a minute. Fight night on versus Nick Charles. Wally Matthews, happy you could join us tonight. Intense fight here in New York.
It really is. Just to give you an idea of, you know, how intense it is. I'm being like as if my scorecard means it.
Yes, it does. But
I'm being asked by Tsurkan's people on one side, how do you have it? I'm being asked by Foreman's people on the other side, and everybody disagrees with me.
Well, I'm asking you now, how do you have it?
I got Foreman ahead by a point, and I had him out of this fight after 4. So I tell you what, man, I give him a hell of a lot of credit for regaining some measure of control here.
Well, it's all about boxing with him.
Using the jab beautifully now, both to the body and head.
But Tsurkan trying to jab, but he's got to throw that left hook. His corner pleading with him to do it. But he's running out of rounds, and then he's flat out losing the fight.
Well, he's not losing it by much. I can't imagine that any of the official cards has got either one of these guys up by a wide margin. It's still anybody's fight.
Absolutely. But that tells you what he has to do differently, Wally, and specify what you think he has to do.
Well, what I think Tsurkan's got to do is get back. He's got to, you know, it's funny because he hasn't really changed what he's done all that much. Foreman has changed what he's done. Foreman has become as smart and has realized that it is not to his advantage to trade punches with this guy.
Right. There's that.
He's getting in and out.
You know, he punched with Tsurkan there, but he fought quick, and that's what Tsurkan's got to do. I think he's got to fight quicker. I think he's got to fight a little bit quicker. Let his hands go a little bit more here.
You know, you can't make a Volkswagen into a Ferrari. Quickness is not his game. You know, what he's got to do is lure his man into a brawl, but if his man tonight is Foreman, won't be lured.
Well, he's walking, he's following him around, not cutting the ring off.
That's exactly right.
But credit, as you say, Foreman again for the boxing ability to slip like that and slide.
See, here's the thing. Foreman is capable of fighting more different ways than Tsurkan is.
He's got more dimension.
Yeah, Tsurkan can fight the way he fights. He's going to come straight forward, and that's it. And if he lures you into that fight, he's going to win.
But look, missing badly. Tsurkan really looking awkward here.
And that's all because of
looking slick. Right.
I mean, you may not like the way he fights. You may want him to stand still and trade punches, but you know what? He doesn't care what you think. He's trying to win a fight.
Look, I'm not making this guy Pretty Boy Floyd, but that's how Pretty Boy Floyd fights.
Absolutely.
Some people complain about it. Some people hate him like Chris Bird, but you know what? It's really the art of boxing.
Well, here you go. Take a look at the online scoring. Foreman got the bulk of the votes from our viewers in round 7. I gave him round 7 as well. I thought it was very close, and I wouldn't be surprised if any of the 3 judges gave it to Tsurkan.
Tsurkan trying to get on that jab. He's got to win these rounds. Fight here for the taking. Either man could be headed for the distance. We'll find out. Round 9 coming up right after this. Stay with us.
All right, here's the story of the comeback right there, and it's in that short, stinging, snappy jab from Foreman. He's used it to very good advantage over the past 4 rounds.
We know with 2 rounds to go that Foreman doesn't have to change a thing, and now he's on the jab all the time, and he drives Tsurkan back with it. Look at Tsurkan eating jabs as he just walks in without punching. Now he's got Foreman in exchange, but Foreman just whips a left hook and fights quick and gets out of there.
Yeah, it's become very, very difficult for Tsurkan to lure, or to, you know, really, the real word is sucker. He has not been able to sucker Yuri Foreman into his fight.
Right, he's hit him with a couple left hands there. Now just unable to pull the trigger, a little bit of hesitant, can't line his guy up.
Wow. And you know, the number, everything is turned topsy-turvy here. If you take a look at the numbers there, Foreman out-punching Tsurkan now 3-1 in power punches last round.
Tsurkan throwing 37 shots. There you go, there, the nice right hand lands, and now it's Foreman inside temporarily. Now he'll create space again, get on that jab.
And there you can see the turn in the fight. You know, it's obvious to everybody watching it now. Now, we don't know. We have seen some strange decisions on versus over the past year and a half, all right? So we don't know what the three judges are seeing here, but I'm seeing it the same way the viewers are seeing it.
Good combination from Foreman. Now he comes back trying to rip to the body. He did land a right hand to the body. So good variety from Foreman. He's really focused, concentrated well, and anticipated a lot of what Andrey Tsurkan has tried to set up.
Yeah, let's just set up one other thing here, and we hope it doesn't happen, but two of the worst decisions I have seen this year have come in New York State. One of them was a fight you and I did, Miguel Angel Wélter against Kid Diamond up in Rochester.
Yeah.
The other one was last month at Madison Square Garden, Casamayor against Santa Maria. Santa Cruz, I should say.
Right hand from Tsurkan, and hands low. Yuri Foreman, but he continues to turn, and Tsurkan trying to chase him down, forced to restart. He's just not as quick as Foreman.
Wow. Foreman's slick, too. You know, he feinted him just by looking down. You know, I think he actually got Tsurkan to look down also, and then he circled around it.
Well, his face is pretty red, Wally.
But he's, you know what? Well, it's been that way since he got cut.
Hey, step back, no punches.
I believe that was in the second round of the fight, if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, but Tsurkan can't find him now.
Pick him up.
No, he can't.
He's got to take every free shot available. There. He's just chasing.
Now, here's, you know, this is the thing that makes this round difficult to score. There are some people who would hold it against Foreman.
I wouldn't at
for
all.
Running. Right?
He's taking this guy completely out of his game again.
I'm with you.
I think it's a solid round for Foreman, meaning Tsurkan will need a stoppage if we're right. Good right hand before the bell, though, for Tsurkan. 1 to go. Wow. They're not going to change anything, Wally. Let's listen in.
Andrey, open your mouth. Think a little bit. Okay. This is the last round. Okay? This is the last round. We need a knockout to win. You understand? I'm going to dry this glove, kid. I'm going to dry this glove. We're seeing you.
Right hand. You're waiting too long to throw fire to right hand. Okay? By that time he leans in and you miss the right hand. Your left hand's got to stay high. Okay? Keep the left hand. Keep your left hand high, son. All right? Okay? Now go out. Yes, sir. Continue to go out there.
All right, let's take a look at some of the work with the left hand from Yuri Foreman. And this is really the punch that changed the fight. He's just pumping that out there. And you know what? Tsurkan really can't find an answer for it. And I'll tell you one thing. Tsurkan's corner is seeing the same fight we are because they told him you need a knockout.
Well, they both did. And Foreman's corner basically said, don't change a thing. Just keep that left hand up and keep pumping it in Tsurkan's face. And Tsurkan's corner, the unvarnished truth, you need a KO, kid.
You know what? That's like it's the equivalent of like landing a, you know, completing a Hail Mary touchdown pass. It just ain't going to happen.
Right. Nice left hand from Foreman. Foreman just schooling him now.
Foreman
Excellent
would have to do something incredibly foolish to get knocked out at this point.
Foreman, very cautious. He's working strictly off the jab, doubling it up. Tsurkan can't find him. Hands low. He's short with his shots. Unable to trigger here.
Yeah, you know, we were wondering, and I was wondering anyway, whether Foreman could keep up the movement for 10 rounds. All he's got to do is keep it up for 2 more minutes, and this is over.
Yeah, he looks fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go, fellas.
You can see the numbers right there again. 22 punches landed to just 10. Foreman over Tsurkan in round 9.
Good combination, fired off by Foreman. 3-punch combination. Here comes Tsurkan stalking with real intent now, trying to make it a war. And a good flurry from Tsurkan. He's got to do more of it. He's running out of clock, Wally.
Now, he certainly is. And of course, you know, 90 seconds is plenty of time. It only takes the blink of an eye to knock somebody out.
If you're Joe Frazier.
Yeah, if you're Joe Frazier, if you're Mike Tyson, if you're George Foreman, I'm not sure if you're Andrey Tsurkan.
He's been a little disappointing, and credit, as you said, back there to Yuri Foreman. He has really made Tsurkan look awkward and ineffective in many of these rounds.
Well, I really think that Yuri Foreman, assuming he wins the fight, and I think he should, He's won this fight with his mind more than anything. And you look at that mouse now under the right eye of Tsurkan. That's evidence of how many jabs he's eating.
Jab. He is eating jabs with regularity now. Tsurkan allowed a clinch. Here he comes, not knowing what to do, walking into the left again. So he is getting outboxed clearly down the stretch here as Yuri Foreman has taken over this fight. We'll watch it finish. Much as it's gone, the last 4 or 5 rounds falling into a pattern. Tsurkan trying to launch a final assault and get lucky.
Yeah, but it's not for lack of trying it on Tsurkan's point at all. It's all Yuri Foreman.
Man, these guys want no part of anybody at the end. No embrace, no nothing. No good fight. Bronx, Brooklyn, you know how it is. Tsurkan. Yeah, this is strange. He's the NABF champion. I don't think he's going to be after this, but he's sitting on the shoulders of his handlers as if he won the fight.
You know, it's funny. They tried to play down, you know, the nationalistic aspect of this. You know, like, you know, we're both out of Russia a long time, 8 years now. But clearly there was an intense rivalry between both of these guys.
And as you pointed out, Wally, look at that swelling under the eye of Tsurkan on the right.
Yeah. It's funny, you know what? Some of the guys in Tsurkan's corner seem to think he won the fight.
I can't believe
I don't.
he did.
In fact, I have
His trainer did.
No, I have Foreman by a surprisingly healthy margin. I got him 97-93 because I gave him the last 6 rounds of the fight.
She swept easily the back half of this fight.
But you never know. You know, some of them are close. If it turns out he only won 4 of those rounds, you're looking at a draw.
Great fight. Great fight. Great fight.
All right, we go to the Jack Daniels hit count here, and Tsurkan outpunched Foreman, but his accuracy not there at all, Wally.
No, and you know what? Most of those punches landed by Foreman came over the last half of the fight. And in fact, over the last 3 rounds, he outlanded Tsurkan 56-23. So, you know, it looks like they were close in connects, but as a matter of fact, Foreman was pulling away as the fight went on. Wow, look at that. You know, that cut is a lot worse than I thought. Look at that. They did some job with that in the corner.
Wally, I had a 97-93 myself.
Okay. Well, that cut was nasty.
You know, again, I use this a lot, but it's true. This guy, Andrey Tsurkan, never stopped trying, but I wonder, did he stop believing, you know, down the stretch?
It's
just
possible.
Couldn't catch up.
Because I'll tell you what.
Foreman.
He had such a great 4th round, and I think that he was discouraged that Foreman came back and was able to turn things around.
Right. How'd you have it at home? A lot of scoring going on. 95-93, a lot closer than I had it.
Well, it's 90. I rounded up 96-94. You know what? It's only 1 round difference. But they got the right winner, I think. Let's find out.
Waiting for the decision here in New York. Yuri Foreman. There's Tsurkan. Let's make it official now. Joe Antonacci has it for us.
All pressure. All pressure.
Boxing fans, after 10 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge George DeGabriel scores the bout 96-94. Tsurkan. Judge John McKay scores the bout 96-94. Foreman. And Judge Matt Ruggiero scores the bout 96-94 for your winner by split decision and the new NABF middleweight champion of the world, Yuri Foreman.
There is no doubt about it. That was a sigh of utter relief.
It took a while for my breathing to come back to normal because as soon as I heard that first score, I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, but Yuri Foreman was the anxiety on his face and the relief when he was announced the new NABF super welterweight.
He clearly deserved that. Clearly deserved that. And I don't know what Georgie DeGabriel was thinking tonight.
Yuri Foreman walks out unbeaten, but it wasn't that easy. A split decision winner. We'll be back with more after this. Welcome back ringside here in New York, the Paradise Theater in the Bronx, New York, where Yuri Foreman has come from Brooklyn and beaten the local favorite, Andrey Tsurkan, taking his NABF super welterweight belt away. Foreman, it wasn't easy, a split decision, 10-round victory is with Wally now.
Well, thank you, Nick. It certainly wasn't easy. I'm here with the winner, Yuri Foreman. Yuri, first of all, did your heart almost stop when you heard the first score?
I was, a little scared, yeah. Had a little semi-heart attack.
Well, I have to give you all the credit in the world because I truly thought after the fourth round that you were going to lose this fight. It seemed that he was imposing his will on you, but you made the adjustment. What did you start doing differently?
You know what? I was a little stressed out. I was a little anxious. And after 4 rounds, I relaxed. I listened to my corner. And I started really taking control because the last couple rounds he couldn't even touch me. It was I give him all the credit to Andrey. He put really a lot of pressure, but he just couldn't deal with my movement. It was just
Well, another thing that I thought was going to be a bigger factor than it turned out to be was the cut, because it seemed to be bothering you there for a while. You kept pawing at it, and it's really nasty looking right now. But
it was whoa.
You hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, till 4 round or 5th round, it's really bothering me because my right eye was completely blurry, and I was really because he was looping. He was looping punches, and he was catching me with that.
Well, how were you? You seemed to be on the verge of letting the control of the fight get away from you in the 4th round. What was happening there, and what did you do differently?
You know what? When I lost my momentum, I kind of stopped, and I started a little banging with him, and I just couldn't do it. Anthony Thompson was the example of it. I lost my game plan, and I just fought this fight. But right after the 4th round, I want to just completely take my butt together. And,
well, that you certainly did here. You want to take a look? We're going to show you a quick recap of the fight because I know it's tough to watch the fight when you're fighting it, but you can talk over it now if you'd like.
Wow. I just stopped there, and I started. And he was just, anytime I give him the opportunity to stop, he was just unloading, So anytime I stopped my feet, he was just all over me, So that's why I was moving,
It also seemed that at times he was able to lure you into his fight, which is to trade punches.
Yeah. Just again, anytime I stop, that's it. He's right there. He's right on me, So I just had to give him side to side, and just do my movement in boxing stuff.
Well, this is as bad as it got for you there. After that, by round 9, you were well in control of the fight. Yuri, what do you want next?
I want a shot at the title. Really. My managers, my team, we're working so hard. I just want that opportunity.
All righty. Well, you certainly earned an opportunity here tonight, Yuri Foreman. Congratulations.
I want to thank Versus for giving me the opportunity. And this is Hanukkah, the 3rd night of Hanukkah. It's a great night.
We thank you for giving us a great fight here tonight.
Thank you very much.
Back to Nick.
Okay, Wally, we're going to close it out. We want to get final thoughts on this night. We'll be back to wrap up main event, the entire card here. Fight night on Versus continues from New York. Stay with us. Back here at the Paradise Theater, the Bronx, New York. And the winner and new NABF super welterweight champion. You just looked at Yuri Foreman, but Nick Charles ringside with Wally Matthews. The 154-pound night at the fights, Wally, and starting with Sergio Martinez. I was very anxious to see a guy who's campaigned in Latin America and Spain come here and looked so dynamic in terms of speed.
He did look good.
And
He's
aggression.
clearly a very talented guy. I mean, look, obviously Russell Jordan didn't give him the stiffest competition. We would like to see him against somebody better. Like to see him against Tsurkan.
Well, let's well, I would think Foreman, I guess, would be perfect. But talking about Martinez again, he put down Russell Jordan in the 1st with a combination and finished him in the 3rd. And again, it was a clear exhibition of class telling in this point. So in terms of context, what did he do? as we look at Russell Jordan coming out, and Sergio Martinez. He didn't fight with the hat, happily.
No, he didn't. Although it is cold in here.
Watch the speed, watch the aggression.
Yeah. You know, I just think that Andrey Tsurkan would push him harder than Yuri Foreman. He clearly is a guy who is shifty, who's a good puncher, who's pretty good defensively. But, you know, I don't think we saw a fraction of what he can really do because he wasn't really asked to do all that much tonight.
The main event, Andrey Tsurkan from the Bronx, Yuri Foreman. There's Tsurkan, Foreman on the left. And Foreman, once again, clearly outboxed and blunted the aggression of Andrey Tsurkan. But what a close split decision.
You know, and he was really asked to do a lot, Yuri Foreman. Really had to change tactics within the fight. Did a tremendous job, deserved the win here tonight.
That'll do it. Who do they beat? How do they look doing it? It's Foreman and Martinez tonight from New York.